I'm one of the growers at Colorado Breeders Depot. Today we're going to talk about what a phenotype is. A phenotype is a characteristic that you observe while you're growing your plants. And you want to try to take out what you see that you want in your next grow, whether it be big leaves, small leaves, bud size. If you notice that there's more terpenes on the bud, mold, pests, resistant, all that is something that you can notice and eventually breed into your next grow and then your following grows. It really depends on what you look for as far as the end product that you want. So if you're growing for smokable flowers, of course, you want to have like the bud size and the weight, the more density. If you're growing for more of the cannabinoids, then you would do COA testing on that plant to see what those cannabinoids are and maybe cross with another one to bring out more of those cannabinoids. Speaking of crossing, how you normally continue strain and try to get out more of those characteristics that you want to do something called back crossing. That's the fastest way that you can get those characteristics or phenotypes that you want out. When you back cross, it's best to use one of the original parents that you use to make your cross, and then you use one of those parents and cross it to that new strain that you're going to start working with. And that's the best way to bring out those qualities that you want. You don't know those qualities that you're looking for if they're dominant traits or not. So usually it's going to take you at least 3 grows to make sure that you're getting that dominant trait that you want to get. This will take in a total about 18 months. So it is a very long process and it's time consuming, and you need to be patient when you're looking for phenotypes and trying to get out different traits that you want to bring out in your plants. If you're just looking for bud size, density, weight, leaf size, there isn't a lab test for that. You are the one that's looking at it. So you are the one that really needs to take notes and study your plant and keep track of when you add nutrients, when you put it into flower, when you topped it, when you trimmed it up. All those things are important to keep track of. And I like to keep it on a calendar and just write down what I'm doing as the plant's growing. Let's see, I was asked to talk about buying seeds from a breeder. Buying seeds from a breeder is the most important way to get your seeds. So you can have an idea of what that plant's outcome is. Usually a breeder will be able to, if they've taken good notes and they've paid attention, they'll be able to tell you what's the best climate that this plant's going to grow in. What is the best outcome for this plant, depending on what product you're going to use it for at the end. That's going to help you determine what kind of strain to get. Each strain has its own pros and cons, and depending on the product you want to produce at the end and the climate that you're going to grow in, the length of time that you're going to have to grow it. Sometimes we have very short seasons depending on where you're growing. In northern Colorado, a shorter season than southern Colorado. So that's very important. A breeder should be able to tell you that. If you decide that you want to think about getting seeds from a farmer, there's nothing wrong with that, but most of the time, a farmer is going to have something that was crossbred, which means pollinated from another field. You don't know what was in that field. Pollen can travel very, very far. There's estimates anywhere from 30 miles to 200 miles that pollen can travel. So when a farmer says, "Hey, I got a bunch of seeds last year and I just came out of my field," you can know possibly, if they can tell you, who the plant was that was flowering that receives the pollen, but you don't know what the pollen was that that plant received. Um, so that would be, just kind of a guess of what you're going to be growing. And it won't be stable whatsoever. It takes at least 3 times to grow out a plant in order to get the most stable. That means when you're talking about a stable plant, you want to know the height is going to be the same, the structure is going to be the same, the amount of bud material that you get out of it's going to be the same. Uh, if it's more disease resistant or pest resistant, that's all going to be the same if it's a stable strain. So the longer a strain is grown multiple times, the more stable it's going to be. Um, One of the things that you can do to make sure that your seed that you're getting is uh, legitimate is to go to the seed certification. For here, it would be the Colorado Department of Agriculture. I believe in most states, it's the Department of Agriculture that are certifying the seeds. And that's going to be the best way that you can make sure that that's going to be a legitimate strain that you should be growing and the results that you're going to expect, the outcome that you're going to expect. I think that's about all we have for today. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening, and have a great day.